morning, everyone, and welcome to Wake Up Legendary. My name is Joanne, for anyone that's new here. I am the Director of Marketing here with Legendary Marketer, and once again, bringing you another amazing guest. Before we dive in and bring her on, let's do a few housekeeping items. If you are interested in any legendary merch, like this really cool gray sweatshirt that I got going on right now, just head over to belegendary.shop and you can check out everything that we have, from sweatshirts and hoodies, t-shirts, tanks, and of course, the hat, just like Dave wears on most episodes that you see him on. So head over to belegendary.shop. All right, without further ado, please welcome Kristie to the show. Good morning.
Hey, Joanne, how are you?
I'm doing well. Oh, I love the deer behind you. Notice them.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Awesome. So where are you joining us from? Where are you located in the world?
So I'm in Muskoka, Ontario. So that's about 2.5 hours north of Toronto in cottage country.
Nice. I love it. So give me the backstory. How did you find Legendary? Were you looking for us? Did we fall in your lap? Give us all of the details there.
Yeah, I was for sure looking for you somehow. And I believe that, things line up when they're supposed to. So I come from an online business background. I've had a business for 10 years and it's been amazing and successful. And just in the past couple of years, I have decided I was going to open my eyes for new opportunities because I wanted another stream of income brought into my life. However, I always joke that I get offered these opportunities all the time for work or whatever it may be, but nothing felt right. And it started off in January of this year where I was following 3 women and they were posting things about, how to make money online. And I tried a few of the things and I was like, this is a waste of my time. I am making pennies when I know I'm meant to make more. So finally, I just sort of got out of my own way and I thought, I'm going to look into these 3 girls and see where they came from, because obviously they've learned this from somewhere. And turns out it was all from you guys. So at that point, I was like, well, that just takes all the guesswork out of it. Like, this is where I'm going. So I just chose one of them and signed up for the 15-day. And I was a little hard-headed about it because I don't know, I'm a little skeptical of certain things, but
I think that's okay. I think that's healthy.
Well, I think it's critical thinking, right? So I'm not just jumping into anything that's just looks shiny. I really wanted to see that it was something that was going to work. And so I thought, I'm just going to do my 15 days. And by the end of it, I will know. And so day 1 finishes. And my husband's like, how is it? And I was like, listen, I know I said I was going to wait 15 days, but like, I'm really in. I have to just calm down. And so day 2, it was like the same thing. And I was like, oh my God, I really found it. And so I went through the 15 days in 7 days and just got going. Like, it felt right. And there was an aspect of it too, where I was sort of like preying on the idea of it, right? Like, let me just calm my excitement down. I'm pretty emotion led. So it felt right. And so that's what I did.
Wow. I love it. And I think it's okay to be, there's healthy, I love how you put it. It's critical thinking.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's great about the challenge is it lets you decide, is this for me? How do I feel about it? It gives you such a good inside look of what digital marketing is and a really good feel of, is this the right next step? And I think a lot of people miss that that's really what it is. It's such an amazing appetizer for you to decide and see and get an behind the curtain view and have conversations and join a community and see how you feel about it and how you see yourself in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is really cool. And you did it within 7 days. So we know that's a little difficult, especially with so many going through the challenge right now.
Yeah.
But if you're able to, if you reach out to your advisor and say, plug me in where you can fit me, They usually
Yeah, I was on calls with
accommodating that.
I was on calls with mine, and I would be like, "Can you book me in for this afternoon? Because I'm going to whip through this." And he was like, "Okay," like you know.
Right.
So, but it felt right, and that's what is sort of like a definite green light for me, is when it feels good.
Yeah, yeah. So when did you go through the challenge again?
March.
Okay, so it's not too long. So we're still new. What was your, like, you get through the 15 days. What was your biggest first roadblock you needed to tackle?
So I thought that the 15 days was really well put together, and I felt like I was really on top of things. I do have the tendency to be a little distracted sometimes, where I might lose my focus. So I really knew that I had to do this quickly so that I could keep on that same track. And so as soon as I finish it, I had this real big, like literally, what now? I just wasn't positive, because this is a new type of business for me. Right. And I actually did a lot of my learning through the email list that I was on from the person I had signed up with, and also the Facebook groups that were offered. So I knew as well that it was just doing the do every day, right? Instead of rushing through and feeling like I needed to know what chapter 20 looked like when I was just starting chapter 1. So it was really just like the daily things. And I did make some like pretty awesome mistakes at the beginning that like I definitely learned from. And, but I think that also what I appreciate about being able to share this opportunity is that I want people to look at me and say, this is a real person who's doing this. And I do admit my mistakes, and I hope that other people will learn from them. But
what was one of your mistakes, if you don't mind me asking? What was one of these awesome mistakes?
I have a good one. Like, woo. So at the beginning, I finished my course, and I applied to be an affiliate for Legendary Marketer, and I was approved. Okay. So then I took that link, and I was like, just spewing it everywhere. And I had over 200 views on this link, but none of them, because I didn't have an email autoresponder set up yet. I had no email list. Therefore, these people just vanished. They checked out my stuff and they are gone. So I missed out on over 200 people in my email list, which is not great. Yeah.
Most likely ended up clicking on someone else's link that followed up through email. And that's what people miss. And I've seen a couple, always, I love our community, but always still have eyes wide open when we look at advice that others give us. And I've seen a couple of people who are like, oh, you don't need an autoresponder. You don't need an email list. And they're like, I love that. Less work. But it's not less work. It's actually more, because you're losing so much potential in the follow-up.
Yeah. I think also like the idea of an email list is so daunting at the beginning, because I have some friends who are very successful in the online world, and they're constantly talking about memberships and email lists. And I was just sort of like, that sounds so annoying. I don't even want to learn it. But now that I understand it, I was like, well, I really missed the boat on that one. So at least that's something I can share with people that hopefully they won't do.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? If it's feeling overwhelming, at least get it integrated to where it's collecting emails. Yeah. And maybe you're not even sending yet, but at least you have them collecting.
And it really isn't hard to do it too. I really thought it was going to be like a weeks long process, and it's not.
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not. And if you're a Blueprints member and you get hung up somewhere, you hop into a support call and we find out where the little mistake was made and we help you fix it.
Absolutely. That's been the best.
Live. Yeah. So, all right. But I think that's really what this process is about, because we're all learning, but you got to implement as you go. So I don't think that was really a massively awesome mistake that ruined your life. It was just part of the learning process. Yeah. And now you appreciate the steps more, and you can share that with the people that are just a step behind you. Yeah. Which is beautiful. It helps them even more.
Yeah. So, well, I decided that when I was going to do this, I was going to document the whole thing. And because when I started watching these 3 women it was very like comfortable. I really felt like we were on the same page. I had a lot in common with them, or I related to them. But then they just started making like more and more and more money. And I was just like, wait for me. Like, what? I just felt like I was being left behind. And
they
now,
went on a train that I didn't get a ticket for.
honestly, and now I'm watching them and I think I'm still looking up to where they are. But if I had seen them at that level in January, I would have thought, I'm not sure that this is something that's real or whatever. But I have watched them through this whole thing now, and it amazes me. So when I decided to do this, I created this idea that I would do 100 days of affiliate marketing. And this would just show people every single day what my challenges were, or what I was tracking, or what I was doing, or just whatever came up that day. And so today is actually day 50 of my 100 days. And the greatest compliment that I have received throughout this is when people reach out and they say, "You are my real person." And I'm like, that is the nicest thing that you could say, because that's what I'm trying to be. And that's who I am. So
I love that, because now you're not just creating content of just kind of copying everyone else, and you don't really know why you're copying them. You're just going to copy them. You're doing something that is your own, because it's your own journey. This is day 32. This is what my day looks like. And so you automatically have unique content that is authentic to you, showing your personality, showing your struggles, showing your wins, showing all of that. And that's what's beautiful about it. That's how you grow an audience. Yeah. And I think a lot of people miss that piece, that we have to collect our audience first.
Yeah. Well, and there is a lot of, I don't feel authentic in posting certain things that are being imitated. And I understand why they're being imitated, because that's what people are looking for. But if it doesn't feel right to me, then I'm not going to do it. So when you come to my account, you won't find a lot of the ideas on how to make money, but you'll find a few, because I know that that's what people are looking for. But ultimately, I'm trying to show people, you know, you could join me in September, start watching me in September, and you will be able to go back and just see the entire process.
Right. You know, there was something else you touched on that I want to dive into a little bit more, that I think it's important for our audience to really hear and grasp this morning. If there's anything they get from this interview, regardless of who you follow, you really need to look at their content that they're putting out with digital marketing glasses and understand they're at a different stage in their marketing than where you are when starting out. So the content doesn't transfer. A lot of the big accounts people are following, they're actually, their videos are meant as follow-up to people that have been watching their stuff for 3, 4, 5 months. Not someone brand new looking to just kind of like, who is this? Do they get new followers? Absolutely. But the main focus of that content is actually to get people that have been on the fence watching to finally pull the trigger. And that's totally different than starting a brand new account at 0 and growing a new audience. It's different content. And if you are the same thing as everybody else, you want to be able to stop the zombie scroll.
And for sure.
The same exact video over and over, you never stand out. They don't know who you are. They don't get to see your personality. That's why you can model certain things, but you still need to really make it your own and talk to your specific avatar and audience and bring in your unique, beautiful, amazing, weird, crazy personality.
Yeah, totally. And I do believe that everyone is attracted to a certain type of person. And so I don't know, at the very beginning, I was like, I will not be showing my face on camera. So I was looking up all these ways to basically imitate what I was seeing, but without putting my face on there. And I legitimately, not kidding, cried 7 days in a row making my videos, like the before, because it terrified me. Like, I'm talking like stress sweat. I was so panicked by being on camera. And then I thought, if I want this, And I want like what I see, because there's no glass ceiling on this. Like I really see just such a vast amount of success that can be acquired. I've got to step out of my comfort zone. And so sometimes you'll watch my videos and I stumble with my words. I'm like, I'm not fixing that. Like, deal with it. We're going to keep going, because I just, I know that the right people are out there who will know, like, and trust me through that type of content.
Guys, you got to go back and just listen to that section right there over and over and over. That's huge. And so many come into this going, I can't show my face. And there's a few sprinkling because of their 9 to 5, but for the most part, it's based out of fear.
Yeah.
Right.
And the fear it will stop you. And I just thought, in 1 year, I refuse to look back and think, where could I have been? And I'm constantly reminded of these 3 women who I follow, because I literally see them posting something, 6 weeks ago, and then where they are now. I'm like, that was just 6 weeks. Like, imagine what this is going to do. And this isn't an opportunity that is just going to, fizzle out or whatever. The way that this is going it's just the beginning. Yeah. And I refuse to miss out on it. So I had to like get my tears, put on a new shirt and just do it.
Do it again and keep going. Yeah, what helped you the most? Was it the why, or just total FOMO? It sounds like almost FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's FOMO, because I do see this. It's not like I'm like, oh, we'll see where it goes. And people have asked me, when you're documenting your 100 days, are you just doing 100 days? And I was like, oh my God, no, like this is going to continue on for years. It's just how I wanted to show you the beginning, right? But I really do have FOMO and technology is so confusing to me. Like when the iPod first came out, I was like, oh, that's such a fad. Like that's not going to go anywhere. And then now I'm just like, oh my God, I can't keep up with what's going on. So if this is just my opportunity to hop into something, learn something new that is so simple, which is different than easy, I will not miss out on that. I can't.
I love it. Oh my goodness. And what else is cool is you are looking at you have the 3 ladies that you're watching. You've watched their journey. You're not copying them.
Exactly.
You're watching how they're doing it, and they each do things a little bit different. I'm going to assume who we're talking about, but there's a good number of successful women in our community that are online, and it's growing daily, you included. And it's not about copying and not understanding why they are doing what they're doing. And it goes for anyone that you look at and look at their content. It's about being inspired by the process.
Yeah.
Instead of just trying to copy exactly what they do in each video, because it's really unique to your own audience when you figure that out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And people can tell. And they don't want to, they follow you because they want to actually get to know you. They want to be your online friend. They don't want to be someone else's online friend, right? That's what it's about. And it's such a cool process of how you're doing the 100 days.
Thank you.
That's because someone could suddenly see day 41 and be like, what is this? And all of a sudden they watch every day before and look at the engagement boost that you just had.
I find that those are also the videos that have the jump in views more so than me just saying, oh, you can get paid to do this, you could try this, right? It's really the ones that are clearly stated, this is day so-and-so of 100, and those are the ones that are being watched.
Yeah. I mean, if I came across that, I'd be like, oh, sweet. Where is day 1? What does that look like? Because it's so relatable to a beginner.
Well, yeah. And when I like to talk to somebody directly, right? And so when I started, I had reached out to somebody asking, I had signed up with this person and I bought the blueprints and I was just like, can I have like literally 20 minutes max? I just have some questions. And it wasn't that I couldn't find these answers anywhere. It was that I wanted to ask a real person, what are your struggles and how are you finding this? And tell me your honest truth, right? Because I think people are so skeptical on the internet. Again, that makes sense. But also they have an open mind to at least ask those questions. And so I've had calls with people. I have calls with people almost every day because it lights me up. It's a bit of my own training where I'm, showing people my own experience. But I want people to also feel like there is someone there who will answer their questions. And now, when I am where these ladies are, and I have like hundreds of people asking to chat with me for 20 minutes, I understand things might change a little bit, right? But I really wanted to be that person that I needed at the beginning.
That is powerful. That's hugely powerful for anyone starting out. Be the person that you needed at the start of this journey, regardless of what niche you're in, whatever road you go down. There's someone that's just a step behind you that's looking to solve a problem just like you were. And if you can put yourself back in the shoes of a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, wherever that first began, that first spark of interest, it just helps create content a lot more.
Yeah, it does.
For sure. Wow. Okay. So we've had the sweaty shirt. We've had massive fear to overcome with putting ourselves on camera. I know it was a struggle at the beginning. Do you still find it like nerve-wracking to go on camera? Is it getting easier through each day? What's that process looking like for you?
Yeah, it's definitely easier. However, I have days where I don't want to show up, right? And so it's like, I'll give myself a day off, but I'm like, it's not like I'm working all day. I can put myself out there, right? So being on camera is much more comfortable now, but sometimes just not wanting to, I do it anyway. Because if I want to, it's typically on Sundays that I'm just sort of hanging out with my family, and I just don't want to create 3 to 5 pieces of content. I just don't want to. So I will do 2, and they'll be pretty short and sweet, right? Because I can do in 10 minutes maximum, right? And just that 10 minutes of action on that Sunday could potentially be what brings someone in to take a look.
Well, it just keeps the habit growing.
Yeah.
It keeps the consistency. It keeps you showing up. And I love that. Maybe it's not 3 to 5 videos on that day. Maybe it's 2 really short ones.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't require, they aren't the videos that you want to put a ton of editing into and a ton of text on screen, and, and a lot of effects or whatever. Maybe it's just a quick little blurb, and it could be a moment with your family even on that Sunday. And it's just, but you're still showing up.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's the consistency for me, right? Because I feel like if I was to take one day off, I'm going to take 2 days off, and I just don't, it's a slippery slope. And I really do look at it like, because of the simplicity of this business, and you really build like the meat and potatoes of it at the beginning. If all I have to do is show up for 10 minutes a day,
right,
when I don't want to do it, I'm here for that, because at least I'm not showing up to a second job where I'm gone for 4, 6, or 8 hours on a Sunday, right? So that's why I've got my options, and I'm choosing the one that takes 10 minutes.
Yeah, hands down. And you may on other days spend more time. So she's not saying 10 minutes every day forever. There is sometimes a little more work, especially if you're having conversations and whatnot with questions. So where do those conversations happen? I know you're mostly on TikTok. Do you direct them to Instagram? Is it all through email? Are you getting on Zoom calls? What's your process with that?
I've been typically having phone calls with them.
Okay.
So I haven't done any Zoom calls with anyone. To be honest, like, I am a busy mom, and I have businesses and a house and all these things to manage. So if I'm on the phone, I can still throw laundry in while I'm having this conversation. So for me, it's just working as smart as possible. So people will reach out and either email me or message me and just say, can we have a chat? Or I will offer that as well. if it just seems like they want that personal connection, I will totally do that. However, I am learning a lesson in that one too, because not everyone is super honest. Some people are already in the 15-day challenge or have already purchased a training further than that, and they don't give me that honesty. Therefore, I am giving them my time and I'm not getting anything but experience with the phone call, right? So that's a bonus, but I really have to be aware and respectful of my own time as well.
I think it's important to have your own boundaries, because there's definitely energy suckers out there.
Yeah.
Hands down. They just don't want to actually put in the work. They just want someone else to tell them some magical secret.
Yes.
You know, I had somebody reach out and to me and felt like, you know, was like, I know that you guys, maybe there's like secret training you guys are doing. And I was like, no, everybody has the same thing and everyone has the same experience. You just have to decide to show up and do it.
100%. And it is so, like, it blows my mind how simple it is, right? I could go to, like, I saw some university was offering digital marketing courses and it was like 13 weeks or 18 weeks. I'm like, who has time for that? Like, I don't understand. Like, this can be built within 2 or 3 weeks. And, you know, there's constant training. I don't want anyone to think like, you do the training and then you're just set, right? Because if you want a successful business, that means personal growth. That means like bettering your training, revamping things, reevaluating, and just constantly being in that space of learning and growing. But it is so crazy to me that it is all like, people say, can I actually learn how to do this in the 15 days? Yes. You literally know the steps to do it in the 15 days, and then it's your choice to learn and grow and put it together. But it's not rocket science. And I was afraid it would be rocket science because I don't know technology. Like, even the word funnel would make me sweat, because I was like, I literally don't understand how a funnel like makes sense in this marketing, but I don't know.
So being, you know, admitting that you had a little trouble or overwhelmed with tech at the start.
Yes, overwhelmed, yeah.
What was your best solution to overcome that barrier? Because a lot get frozen in taking action because they feel like the tech has overwhelmed them too much.
Yeah. Well, the overwhelm, like the anxiety, just making stories up in your head about how hard it is one thing. It's actually not that hard. And then here are these women that I follow and they're like, I don't know tech. And I'm like, yeah, you do. Tell us what you know, like, you know, but I really relate to that. I understand that now, where you don't have to be well-versed in technology to be able to put this together. So for me, so going into that 15-day, I was very, I'm going to be a little stubborn about this. I'm going to do the 15-day. I'm really going to work at putting this together because I didn't have a lot of flexibility with my finances, right? So I knew that I could invest in a further training. And that's what it is. And it's an investment. It's not something that you're just like sort of like winging and hoping will work. I finally just said, I'm going to invest in this. I'm going to work my tail off to at least pay for that. So I'm going to do the do and continue through this, put it together and do that work. And investing in myself, it was just really reassuring for me because it is so step by step. And that's what I had asked my advisor. I was like, are you just telling me that it's like all in one place and I got to find it? Or is it step by step? And he's like, no, it's step by step. And I was like, I'm going to find out. I'm going to tell you what anyways, it is so step by step. I couldn't believe it. I felt so accomplished, so supported. I felt like I really had that success map. Because even though that stuff was overwhelming and a brand new language for me, it was that training that allowed me to just fast track to getting my business up and running properly.
Yeah. And it sounds like, and you can agree or disagree, it sounds like you were all in with taking imperfect action. You weren't
100%.
stuck in learner mode. You
Yeah.
weren't stuck in, it has to be perfect before I can actually do anything, right? You're like, I'm going to take imperfect action daily.
Yeah. Daily. Yeah, for sure.
And that's what's key. It's so simple.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so easy to say, but it's really hard for people to overcome that step of perfection. But I think perfection is just this nasty word that we use because we're scared to shit. Right?
Yeah. And I knew that nothing I was going to do was going to be perfect. And I knew that it was just going to be something that, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
That it was just something that I was going to do. And I found like the messy side of it, my learning, my challenges, sharing those things, that was the gold. That was the stuff that people wanted to hear, right? Tell me what's hard. Tell me what you're having a problem with, because obviously you're doing it anyways, right? So it's not impossible to overcome. And I think too many people stop when there's a hurdle. And I think that once you overcome something, there's just like magic on the other side of it. So I don't know.
You're the perfect example of, you walk through the mud.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You just go through it and you go, sweet, mud fight, all in, let's go. You embrace the moment. You embrace the journey, the traveling. And sometimes you're going to get muddy. Sometimes you're going to get dirty. Sometimes you're going to climb over boulders. Oh, yeah. And either way, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. And like, I always come across as a person who just feel like it just comes easy to me, or, you know, whatever the case may be, because I'm quite outgoing when I speak. But like, there are days my husband will crawl into bed and I'm just laying there and he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, can you just tell me it's going to work? And he's like, of course it's going to work. And I'm like, I know, I just needed you to tell me that. You know, there's if you're doing it alone, like, I know we're all building this business by ourselves or for ourselves, but it's such a blessing to be able to say to someone like, let's just chat this through, or use those tools to just, like, there have been times I've posted in the blueprints group and I'm like, someone was mean to me. Like, tell me it's going to be okay. And people are just laughing and thinking that means like you're doing it right. And, you know, just having that.
Are you my funnel post yesterday that you had somebody mean? I looked at your funnel. It's beautiful.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
And you ignore that troll.
Oh my God. You know what? And I do talk about too, how people are going to offer you criticism, whether it is constructive or personal. I'm going to take it in and I'm going to filter around it. And then I'm either going to grow from it or I'm going to throw that right out. You know what I mean? So that constructive criticism, no, I won't call it constructive. That criticism yesterday and the way someone said something to me was so mean. And I thought, well, here's my opportunity to look at it and just reevaluate if it's something that I should polish a little bit. Right. So.
Right. You know, I have found, when I really dig a little bit, of anyone with negative comments or choose negative marketing tactics.
Yeah.
They're not in it to, like, as a public service announcement.
Yeah.
They're actually marketing a competing offer.
100%.
Marketing, they could be, I've seen that tactic used to market their funnel building services.
100%. And I see that so often.
Yeah, and people just don't, and I'm like, you understand, if you click that person's profile, they're advertising what they are telling you need help with.
I mean, is it smart? Sure. But like, does it feel right?
Yeah, it's not. No. It's really yucky.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not, and it's making someone feel bad to invoke action.
Yeah.
And man, that can't last long. That's not a long-term.
I don't know. I don't know how some people sleep at night, but that's just not my.
But there is way more of that than what people realize.
Yeah.
If they really look at, why is negative marketing, what are they saying? It's not just a review. They have a purpose for that piece of content, and it's for you to click their link and buy something else.
Yeah.
I've seen, especially with funnels, because there are a lot of people that offer funnel building services out there. What maybe our community doesn't really know that, but there is a lot. And there are some that have that's their tactic. They just go on, they look for newer marketers, and they harass the shit out of them in the comments about how crappy their funnel is to get them to, oh, what should I do? Let's get on a call. Let me send you a message.
I know. Everyone's telling something, but I don't know. I think that there's just a way that you can overcome those things and you can grow from it, because the haters won't stop. And the more followers that I aim to attract, I'll probably get a few extras here and there, and but you grow some thick skin, and you just decide whether you're going to file it in the garbage or you're going to take it as constructive criticism. So we'll see. But I did learn yesterday. I had a moment. Like, this person did not make me cry, but I was like, oh, I am a nice person. Like, why would you speak to me like this? Whatever.
That's such a weird flex in the comments too.
Yeah.
Like, go on somebody and be like, and pick apart their funnel.
I know.
It's supposed to be like, okay, thanks, bye.
It's supposed to.
Okay. Yeah, that's such an odd. When I see those types of things, and I'm like, oh, there is no drive except this person feels really crappy in their life, and they really want someone else to feel crappy with them.
Yeah, I agree.
And as an entrepreneur, we got to be, especially in the digital marketing space, we got to be like, oh, I'm not dropping down to that level because I am above.
Yeah.
They're only looking and trying to attack people that are ahead of them.
Yeah.
And that's important. Nobody's going after somebody behind them.
Yeah.
That they think they're better than. They only go after people that are actually better than them.
Well, and it was also a little bit of a compliment, because obviously she had been watching my stuff and had gone through the process. So I'm doing something right.
Right? Yeah.
Like that little
hey, you should check out that next video too, and let us know how you feel about
it.
That's awesome. Oh, it's just, I know there's people that have fear of negative comments online, but they're everywhere. They're at school pickup. They're at, PTA meetings. They're at your 9 to 5. They're in restaurants. You see negative Nancys and Toms all over the place, and we decide how we let that affect us.
Yeah. And coming from online business, like 10 years ago when I started my other one, the very first, I had made this post and it was like announcing my new thing. And this person messaged me and said, I thought you were smarter than this. Like, if you were really smart, you would quit this now. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to use that for every single time I train on stage, or every single time I'm like just coming across a struggle or something, because I thought your opinions are not paying my bills. So while I respect that you have your own opinion, you probably could have said, I don't know a lot about network marketing or online business, but maybe be careful, because that's where I started in network marketing, and I'm still building online. But to allow someone, imagine 10 years later, imagine I had listened to that person. That's crazy to me. So everyone will have an opinion, and they will just have a proper way or an improper way of trying to help you make the right decision. But until somebody is offering to pay my bills or send my kids to camp or pay for my vacations, I'm just going to do what I think is right for my family.
Right. Unless they are an investor in my company.
100%.
And they have skin in the game too.
Yeah.
They don't get a say.
No.
Right? There has to be skin in the game for you to even care.
Yeah.
There just has to be. Yep. If they're not paying for the kids' camp, we don't need them. We don't need that opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes they don't know anything about what they're talking about.
No.
At all.
No.
They have no clue. It's just all made up in their mind, some type of reality that isn't real. not
And
that.
I think that part of it, it's either that they are genuinely looking out for you because they don't know enough, so they're worried for your confidence, right? Like,
Right,
you're
right.
so into this, I'm just concerned about you. But then sometimes there's that other half where they have not got the courage to try something new. So they're just trying to tear you down, because if I say I'm going to do something, I am going to do something, right? So it is very easy for someone to try to tear me down because they know that I will go forward and do this, and I will learn, and I will grow, and I will become successful in whatever manner I want it to be. So it's easy to just be like, "Ooh, are you sure you want to do that?" Right? And just try to throw me off my game. But
I remember seeing Amy Ayers, someone in our community, and I've seen her on a few of her lives really address that, where she'll have somebody that's kind of challenging her.
Yeah.
She's like, you know what? Gain some knowledge, gain some information, really look into this, including possibly the challenge, and then decide if you think what you think about it. And she won't project her opinion on it, but she was like, go research, grab some knowledge, grab some information, and then make your own decision about it instead of trying to push an opinion either way.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if you're asking them open-ended questions, you know, they don't have an answer. What is your experience with online business? Well, I don't have any. Okay. And we're done. Like, I'm not going to go any further with this, right? But maybe they do have experience, and maybe they were part of something that was maybe illegal, or they invested a lot of money and didn't actually do the work. So everyone's got their own story, but I'm not going to let somebody else's story stop mine.
Yeah. And also, when you can uncover that fear or that worry or that past experience, now you have something to talk about.
Yeah, 100%. Just content in my pocket.
You have something to talk about. You got more videos, and you can be like, you know what? Yeah, I've been in network marketing. I totally get it. I've seen the pit holes it can cause. I can see the success that it's brought, and all the mix that comes with that experience.
Yeah. Well, and if you find a business model or a business that has integrity, you know, quality products or programs, it's okay to go ahead and believe in that, because not everybody has that. There are some real shady companies out there, right? So I was really fortunate to find a great company to work with for 10 years who I still love. I still find that they have integrity and amazing products. So I'm not just jumping ship here and there. I'm really doing my research. And, you know, if the past 3 years has not taught us anything, it's that the world, or our world, can get shut down in no time, right? So if you're saying yes to something that you have done your research and you believe in, that is for the people that you take care of. The people within your four walls are the ones that you have to consider when you're making a decision like that. No strangers on the internet, no aunts, no old neighbors. I don't care, right? I will accept some sort of, you know, constructive thoughts about it or experiences, but I'm taking care of the people in my four walls. And as long as I do that with integrity, and I feel authentic, and I feel right about it, nothing will stop me.
Yeah. We need to leave it on that, because that is where that you just hit it right on the money, and everyone needs to hear that, live it, breathe it, take it in, and act on it. What a beautiful share. I really appreciate you coming on today and just sharing your story, being so authentic with the highs, the lows, the mess, and everything that's beautiful in between. We got to have you back after day 100 with Dave.
Yes, for sure. I
think that would be a phenomenal interview where we can hear all about the full 100 days, talk to Dave about it, and all of that good stuff. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Thank you so much for making the time for me today.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right, everyone, please go give Kristie a follow on TikTok at Kristie, KRISTIE.Shaver, SHAVER. Go give her a follow. Let her know that you saw her on Wake Up Legendary, and we will be back again with another amazing episode. Peace.